Manifesto. A manifesto is a written statement that describes the policies, goals, and opinions of a person or group. Before I talk about my teaching manifesto, I'd like to first point out that the original education system was created in a time of didactic teaching. There was one instructor responsible for passing along information to students that they would later be assessed on. Is this still the time that we live in? In order to function in today's society, a set of very different skills is needed. Which brings me to the question, what is the purpose of school? Why do we send our children to this place called school for 7 hours a day? What's the point? Do we really need to continue insane amounts of table time, memorization, and standardized testing? No, we need more discussion, visualization, and real-world problem solving. All of these points bring me to my personal teaching manifesto. My goal as a teacher is to spark an interest and eagerness in kids to want to learn. But the big question now is, how do we do this? How can we make children want to learn? If you really think about it, children's brains are like sponges. They are curious about the world. And so it is our job to find captivating ways to engage students when going over our lessons. And now my next point is that we need to join in the learning with students and become active learners ourselves. I'd like you to take a look at this visual of one of our 4th grade classrooms at Presbyterian. Where's the instructor? She is not just a mere facilitator that is standing at one end of the classroom giving instruction. She is right there with the learners, engaged with them, and prompting discussion. Which brings me to my next point. We need to be creating an environment that supports active learning for our students. And we also need to promote in-class discussion and teamwork among students. What are some ways that we can do this? Here's another photo that I love of one of our pre-K classrooms. As you can see, a successful discussion requires exchange and dialogue from our participants, even at this level. The next point I'd like to make, and probably my favorite, is to let them fail. And you might be thinking, to what extent? I can't tell you how many times I've had a student come up to me and say, I don't have a pencil, or I don't get this problem. And so we need to figure out some ways. How can we solve this problem together? So through problem solving, interaction, dialogue, and critical thinking, what we're doing is that we are engaging student interest. So what we now know is that we need to create a new system of development and enhance student skills, talents, and interests. Once we can do that, what we'll have are happier, more engaged learners. So now I'd like to introduce what Presbyterian School is doing to move forward with this sort of thinking. Here you can see our think, make, talk paradigm. This think, make, talk paradigm is our research-based approach to the design thinking, makerspace, and STEAM movements that are sweeping our schools across the country. We are already engaged in this paradigm of learning in many of our grade levels with projects such as the 4th grade Texas Museum and the 8th grade Physics Festival serving as 2 stellar examples. With fingertip access to resources that were unimaginable even a decade ago, our teachers and students are at the dawn of a new age of learning that must promote the following skills in each student. Comfortable with self-direction and initiative, awareness of personal connectedness, that our experiences have value not only for ourselves but for each other, awareness of curricular connectedness, that we must confidently link disciplines and tools such as science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. Understanding the meaning and power of collaboration, the ability to navigate and utilize the readily available abundance of information and intellectual resources, and engagement in making things that are uniquely and creatively crafted. So our goal is to have students think deeply about problems, make applications, and then talk about them.
Created using Powtoon.